It's incredible what inspires people to write music. It can be a painting of a beautiful landscape, or a fun party that they went to, or even a stranger. Inspiration for music comes in a lot of different ways, but if we're really lucky, we know exactly who somebody is writing about in their songs. To me, those are always the most fun songs. Songs written about other famous people and the personal relationships between the two. Songs about celebrities, if you will. It shows a different side to some of our favorite musicians, actors, models, or anything in between, and we see what people who are closest to them, or people who were once closest to them, really think. Like, you know you've made it when someone huge writes a song about you. So we've rounded up 8 songs that were written about other celebrities that we know and love right here on Listed. And first of all, I dare someone to try to convince me that Billie Eilish's song My Strange Addiction isn't about Michael Scott from The Office. As Billie says in the song, don't ask questions you don't want to know, but I'm going to answer all the questions you must have right now, like, Emil, what are you talking about? Well, the song premiered on Billie's last album, When We All Fall Asleep, Here We Go, and it starts off with an audio clip from The Office that Billie pulled from her personal Netflix account.
No, Billie, I haven't done that dance since my wife died.
The clip is from a super meta episode of The Office called Threat Level Midnight, and in the episode, the cast, including Steve Carell as Michael Scott, watches a homemade movie that they recorded a few years earlier. In Threat Level Midnight, there's a fictional secret agent named Michael Scarn, played by Michael Scott, played by Steve Carell, who does a Scarn dance. Billie has said before how much she loves The Office, particularly Michael Scott, so it really would be no surprise if she's calling him her strange addiction. In fact, somebody from MTV News asked Billie what her thought process was in including this Office soundbite in her hit song, and she said, when we made the beat for My Strange Addiction, it reminded me of the song they play when they do the Scarn dance. She continued, I thought that was really funny, so we literally just ripped the audio from Netflix and put it in the song, not at all thinking that they would say yes to it and we'd be able to put it out. Also, it's about strange addictions and The Office is mine, so sounds pretty convincing to me, and just try to find evidence that this song isn't about Michael Scott. I'll wait. So now that that's out of my system, let's move on to number 7. At number 7, we have the most recent person to achieve EGOT status. That is someone who has won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony Award. And this song did give John Legend one of his 11 Grammy Awards. All of Me came out in 2013 and was dedicated to his then fiancée, now wife, Chrissy Teigen. The two of them met in 2007 on set for another one of his songs, Stereo, where Chrissy thought she was taking any old modeling gig for a musician. I bet when she took that job, she never believed that 6 years later she would be marrying the man from that same video. The year before they met, John won his first ever Grammy for Best New Artist. His debut album, Get Lifted, also won the Grammy for Best R&B Album that year. But fast forward to 2013 and John and Chrissy are living their best engaged lives. John decided to go ahead and write All of Me along with Toby Gad, who also helped write Fergie's Big Girls Don't Cry and Beyonce's If I Were a Boy. John debuted the song on Oprah Winfrey's Oprah's Next Chapter, and it acted as the 3rd single for his album Love in the Future. Now, one could argue that that whole album was inspired by John looking forward to his wedding with Chrissy and them living the rest of their lives together. This was, of course, well before their children stole our hearts. John also got to perform the song live at the 56th Grammy Awards. Taylor Swift also brought him out on stage to perform All of Me during one of her stops on the 1989 World Tour. This song is definitely a tearjerker, but what really gets me is the music video. It was shot in Italy just a few days before his and Chrissy's wedding. In a full circle moment, the video features John and Chrissy loving on each other in a similar way to the way that they did in that first music video for Stereo, but this time you can really tell that the two are madly in love. The video ends with actual footage of their wedding ceremony in Lake Como, Italy, and John still plays this song to this day. Not too long ago in early November 2019, Chrissy posted a video of John at Universal Studios in Hollywood. She said, John got wine drunk and sang a song at Universal Studios last night. And at the mini impromptu concert, you can hear John serenading his wife with his hit song. She continued saying the whole joke was supposed to be that literally no one was watching or at the stage, but then he got on stage and was like, it's me, John Legend. And of course that meant the recent EGOT winner drew quite the crowd of listeners to hear him sing his ballad for his wife. It's always so lovely to hear someone sing a love song about their spouse, but sometimes celebs write songs about other celebs that have more of a malicious intention. That's the case with the number 6 spot on our list, Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake. Justin supposedly wrote this hit song from 2002 in just a few hours right after his last breakup from from Britney Spears. For a long time, Justin pretended that this very obvious song wasn't about Britney, but years later in 2018, Justin published a memoir, Hindsight and All the Things I Can't See in Front of Me. And in the book, Justin admits that the song was written directly after their breakup in a passionate ode to revenge. In the book, he wrote, "I've been scorned, I've been pissed off. The feelings I had were so strong that I had to write it. I translated my feelings into a form where people could listen and hopefully relate to it. People hurt me and understood it because we've all been there." Rumors flew that Britney supposedly cheated on Justin and broke his heart, but there was never really any evidence of any infidelity on her part, and nobody ever confirmed that any of those rumors were true. Still, Justin released this mean-spirited song during a really trying time for Britney. It seemed like the whole world was out to get her and was blaming her for the relationship not going well. Not that her relationship with Justin was anybody else's business in the first place, but people felt very entitled during the time to know every personal aspect of their lives. And Cry Me a River certainly didn't help Britney's quality of life either, with lyrics like, "You don't have to say what you did, I already know, I found out from him. Now there's just no chance with you and me." But Justin's revenge didn't stop with the song. The final kiss of death came with the music video. In the video, Justin low-key stalks a very familiar looking face. Remember at the time he was touting that this song was definitely not about Britney Spears, but then he used an actress that looked just like her with dark hair. Now the video kind of makes him look creepy as he breaks into his ex's home and slides his way through as she leaves with another man, but there's no way we can talk about creepy songs about exes without bringing up the next number on our list. At number 5, we have Obsessed by Mariah Carey. We told you not long ago that parts of this feud between Mariah and Eminem are still ongoing, and they involve Mariah's ex-husband Nick Cannon, who recently made a distasteful diss track about Eminem. Honestly, the almost 5-minute song is like an invitation that Nick is extending to Eminem to come on his MTV comedy battle show Wildin' Out. But we're not here to talk about that song. We're here to talk about Mariah's top 10 hit from 2009, Obsessed. The song is about an obsessed man who is claiming to be in a relationship with Mariah Carey, and like in Cry Me a River, the music video for Obsessed has a character that looks all too familiar. In the music video for this song, Mariah plays both herself and her stalker, who wears an oversized gray hoodie reminiscent of some of Eminem's outfits. Photos of Mariah in her music video outfit leaked before the video was ever released, which led people to speculate that she was singing about Eminem, and although she never cleared up any of these rumors, the evidence is pretty clear. Even one of Mariah's co-writers on the song teased that it was about somebody famous and that he would not be happy when he heard it. And that's an incredible understatement. After Obsessed was released, Eminem came out with a response to the song in a rap of his own called The Warning. He claimed to have evidence that he and Mariah were in fact in a relationship, despite what she and her husband at the time, Nick Cannon, said. Eminem claimed that he dated Mariah for 6 months around 2002 during a hard time in Mariah's life that led her to be hospitalized. The two went back and forth for a while, with Mariah always disavowing any relationship with Eminem. He wrote multiple raps about her and brought her up several times at his concerts, and then finally in 2009, Mariah ended Eminem with a song and music video that there was no coming back from. But Eminem isn't the only thing that Mariah references in Obsessed. She also makes 2 Mean Girls references in the music video. One right at the top where she quotes the line,
I was like, why are you so obsessed with me?
And she does it again at the end when the stalker gets hit by a bus, a la Regina George. So guys, it looks like Ariana wasn't the first person to reference Mean Girls in the music video, which brings us to number 4 on our list. When Beyonce surprise dropped her self-titled album in 2013, it blew the minds of people around the world. What came as even more of a surprise were the deeply personal songs and music videos that came along with the album. Our number 4 song is one of the deep cuts on Beyonce's album Blue. Obviously, Beyonce wrote this song for her brand new baby daughter, Blue Ivy. Blue was born in January of 2012, and just a little over a year later, Beyonce came out with this beautiful ode to her daughter. The song was the first of many to feature Blue Ivy's vocals, as well as a physical appearance in the music video. And Beyonce dedicated the last song of her self-titled album to her daughter, and it had lasting effects. The song turned Blue Ivy into the youngest charting artist in Billboard's history. The gorgeous music video was shot in Brazil and showed some of the native children there alongside Blue holding on to her mom. And Blue immediately followed another ballad by Beyonce on her self-titled album. That one was called Heaven and referenced Beyonce's first pregnancy, which ended in a miscarriage. In her own words, Beyonce said, "Heaven is about death and finding the strength in knowing that someone had an incredible life and that giving you some type of closure." And in a way, Blue is the happy ending that came after heartbreak and sadness. Another song that signaled ending and heartbreak is one of Miley's recent songs, Slide Away. And that's why it's number 3 on our list. Miley wrote Slide Away and released it just a few days after her very public breakup from her husband, Liam Hemsworth. Now, there are some pretty incriminating lyrics in Slide Away, and though Miley hasn't put out an official statement confirming that the song was written about Liam, it's pretty hard to imagine that it's not. Like in the top of the song when she sings,
"Think I'm gonna miss these harbor lights, but it's time to let it go."
She tells him to go back to the ocean, which is likely a reference to his native Australian coast where he spends a large portion of his time surfing. And she says she'll go back to the city lights, back home where she's used to the bright lights of Nashville or LA. In the pre-chorus, Miley sings, "I want my house in the hills, don't want the whiskey and pills." Of course, Liam isn't a singer-songwriter like Miley is, so it seems unfair that he's not able to defend himself in song as well. He'll have to play to his strengths and make another movie like the last song, except this time maybe with a nice Australian girl like one of the few that he's been seen hanging out with in recent months. The two met when Miley was just 17 years old on set for the last song. She also references them meeting in Slide Away. She says, "Move on, we're not 17. I'm not who I used to be. You say that everything changed, you're right, we're grown now." Meaning that the two just grew apart in the 10 years that they've been together. It really is sad that the two couldn't work it out after all the time together, but sometimes things just aren't meant to be. Like this next song, which also involves Miley Cyrus and a relationship that absolutely did not pan out. Katy Perry rose to stardom when she released her song I Kissed a Girl way back in 2009. It was truly ahead of its time. Some people had a strong reaction to the homoerotic messages of I Kissed a Girl, and the label almost didn't put the song out at all, afraid of how people in very religious communities might react. Katy herself grew up in a very religious household. She first went by Katy Hudson and sang Christian music, but she really branched out with I Kissed a Girl, and her debut album is Katy Perry. Her parents really didn't approve. If they knew who might have inspired the song, then I'm sure they would be even more upset, because years later in 2017, Miley Cyrus came out and said the song was written about her. She said that she once heard Katy Perry talking about the song, and when she was asked who inspired her to write it, Katy said none other than Miley Cyrus. So at number 2, we have Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl. Miley said, "When she came out with I Kissed a Girl, I was doing the Hannah Montana movie. I heard her on the radio. They said, 'Who did you write that about?' She said, 'Me.' The year before I Kissed a Girl came out, Katy actually invited Miley Cyrus to the 2008 VMAs, and some people think the infamous kiss was caught on camera. Little did we know just how much kissing we would see from both of these women in the years to come, but the only problem with this one is that Katy has said that multiple women have acted as her muse, which led her to write this song. Like when Katy was on the Late Late Show with James Corden and he asked her who inspired her first big hit song, Katy said that then it was Scarlett Johansson, as well as another woman that she met when she was only 17 years old. If we need to do the math here, Katy is 8 years older than Miley, so if Katy met this woman at 17, that would mean that Miley was only 9 or 10 years old. So I definitely don't think Katy was kissing her then. But still, if Katy wants to be inspired by multiple women, then I say we let her. But other people find their one muse and stick to it. They've just got one apple to their eye, and that's the case with the #1 song in our countdown. It's none other than Lover by Taylor Swift. The song that came out in late 2019 was Taylor's final single before her highly anticipated album by the same name came out, and just one day after Lover's release, people were already walking down the aisle or having their first dance to the romantic song. Taylor Swift wrote Lover following the speculation that her and her boyfriend of 3 years, Joe Alwyn, were engaged or possibly even already married. There seems to be a shroud of secrecy around the relationship, more so than any of her previous relationships, which have all resulted in a media firestorm. But this one is different. It's private and personal and seems to be very successful. There's only a handful of photos of the two of them, and they become pretty advanced at avoiding the paparazzi. So you can see why these two might often get married privately without saying a word to their fans first. And rumors got even more crazy after people saw all the marriage imagery in the lyrics and music video for Lover, like the bridge of the song where Taylor plays the role of a minister at a wedding ceremony saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand?" She also recites the vows she would take to Joe at the altar, like, "I take this magnetic force of a man to be my lover, swear to be overdramatic and true to my lover." And in the middle of it all, she evokes the old wedding tradition of having something borrowed in blue, saying, "My heart's been borrowed and yours has been blue, all's well that ends well to end up with you." The music video for Lover goes even further into the storybook wedding that we've come to know and love from Taylor. It shows her and a man in a big dollhouse together, dancing around and just enjoying each other's company. And in the end, we see their daughter opening up presents on Christmas Day, fully realizing their fantasy. It's a super sweet song for someone that she loves without any backhandedness or shade to anybody else, and that's why it's the #1 song on this list. These are only a few. There's been so many songs written about other famous people, and there's no way we could get to them all, so why don't you tell us some of your favorites in the comments below. Write your favorite song about a celeb and tell us why you like it, and then guys, make sure you click right over here to watch another brand new video, and click right down here to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me here on Clevver News. I'm Emil Jr., and I'll see you soon.